The year 2005, the city of Fortaleza, Brazil. A robbery took place that shook the entire nation. No shots were fired, no threats were made, yet 160 million reais, nearly 3.5 tons of cash, vanished. This is the story of the gang that pulled off one of history's most spectacular heists, from underground. It all began with a small rented house just 1 block away from the central bank building. The gang opened a fake company here called Grama Synthetica, a so-called artificial grass landscaping business.
Looks
The
legit.
house was freshly painted green. Flyers were handed out to neighbours offering gardening services. A white van with the company's logo parked outside every single day. No one suspected anything. Everyone believed it was just soil and grass work going on. But behind that house, underground, something very different was taking shape. Around 40 people worked night and day digging toward one target, the bank's vault. The tunnel digging continued for 3 months. The tunnel stretched nearly 80 meters long. The tunnel ran 3 meters underground, passing directly beneath the city's stock exchange. Lights were installed inside, along with an air conditioning system to handle the heat. Phones were banned to avoid leaving any evidence. An intercom system was used instead. Nearly 900 wooden planks were used to reinforce the tunnel's walls. Nearly 30 tons of excavated soil were quietly hauled away in bags. Day by day, the tunnel inched closer toward the bank. Then came the August 2005 weekend everyone had been waiting months for. From Friday afternoon to Saturday noon, the final and most dangerous phase began. The tunnel had finally reached directly beneath the vault. Only one barrier remained, 2 meters of solid concrete flooring. Slowly, silently, the gang began cutting through the concrete. After hours of effort, a hole finally opened in the floor. And what they saw through that hole looked straight out of a heist movie. Inside the vault, neatly stacked bundles of reais worth hundreds of millions sat waiting. No alarm went off, no guard showed up, just silence. The gang took their time, calmly filling bag after bag with cash. 5 large cases of 50 real notes were dragged out through the tunnel. Total weight nearly 3.5 tons, worth close to $70 million today. Some notes fell into the dirt while being dragged through the tunnel, later becoming key evidence. All they left behind were empty juice cartons and energy drink cans. The cash was loaded into the getaway van, and part of it was hidden inside brand new cars on a transport truck. The gang slipped away quietly, leaving behind nothing but an empty vault and a mystery. When the bank opened on Monday, the sight of the vault floor left everyone stunned. Police found only a hole. They had no idea it was the entrance to an 80-meter tunnel. One officer, thin enough to fit through, agreed to go down and check. Not knowing what lay ahead, he crawled into the dark tunnel. What he found left the entire police force stunned. A fully engineered underground passage. This kicked off one of the biggest money trail investigations in Brazil's history. Police searched used car lots across the city, trying to trace how the cash was moved. They discovered that 6 million reais had been hidden inside brand new cars on a transport truck. As the investigation progressed, names from the gang began to surface. An estimated 25 to 35 people were involved, but only a handful were caught at first. With that much money on the table, trust within the gang began to crumble. The stolen cash itself became the gang's biggest threat. Weeks after the heist, several gang members suddenly began disappearing. The suspected mastermind was believed to be 26-year-old Luis Fernando. In October 2005, he was kidnapped. His family paid a hefty ransom, but he was killed anyway. His body was abandoned in a remote village far from Rio de Janeiro. This marked the beginning of a chain of kidnappings and murders. Police suspected that some corrupt officers were involved in these kidnappings too. 3 police officers were arrested during the investigation. In 2006, the body of another gang member was found in a Sao Paulo slum. Money that was stolen without a single act of violence had now triggered bloodshed. After years of investigation, 129 people were formally indicted. Nearly 400 witnesses testified during the trial. Adding up all the sentences from the first trial, the total came to a staggering 2,452 years. Yet only a small fraction of the stolen money was ever recovered. On one occasion, 170,000 reais were found buried in the ground, 500 kilometers from Fortaleza. Interestingly, the bank had never insured this cash. They believed the risk was too low to bother. 20 years later, most of the money and the true mastermind remain untraced. This remains one of the most brilliantly planned bank heists in the world.
From the
No
drawing board
gunshots,
to the tunnel,
no
into the
bloodshed
vault,
at the scene,
and then gone.
just months of
The
planning
greatest bank
and a
heist in
tunnel
history
that
remains
rewrote
unsolved.
history. This was the complete story of the great robbery of Brazil's central bank.